Gentleman. So unplug that. We're here today to play around with something brand new. I built something new. Not that it's overly new or anything. It's just, it's new to this guy that ordered this thing. This has been a long time in the making for this gentleman here. When I took this order for this amplifier, it was before these. Before any of you guys knew anything about these switchers. And it was originally going to be built with those LED switchers, but as we all know, the history behind that, I called to get LED switchers and the market was flooded with garbage, so I had to go with something better, and what came out of that was us finding a guy that had a bunch of these for everybody to use. And so the industry overnight switched. This isn't normally how I start one of these builds. It's I just wanted to have a quiet moment. I wanted to know what it was like to be the other guys, you know, where I don't show every single step and I just, here, it's done, enjoy, you know, and having to talk about doing a video, sitting there talking about, well, we're using this part because it's really, really good, and there's a reason we got to use these parts because, well, I can't find anybody in the industry that's going to make this part for me off the shelf, so I got to make it by hand. And you guys have seen all this before. Thousands of times, literally, like a lot, right? And I sat back and I enjoyed this. We did all the normal stuff. This is a 2x4 board mounted in a 16-pill enclosure. You know, and we did the obvious things, like we made sure that the board is bolted in. I had one the other day that showed up that was held down by hot glue and drywall screws. I mean, it's got phenolic that runs down the side of the board and blocks off the air vents in the back, and it's got every whistle stop, lick 'em, stick 'em, shiny flashlight, ooh-hoo, pay attention to me thing in it that, you know, money can buy. Brass output trombone tuning capacitor, you know, oversized combiners, big 5-watt oversized resistors. It's got the in-house made BBI transformers, which these are getting ready to go away. I've got a whole series of new build amplifiers that are getting ready to come out that are left over from last year's order process. And I'm trying to get down on these transformers so I can use the new ones that I'm getting ready to produce on those projects, right? It's got full class AB or class B bias on it. It's got metal clads on everything that it needs to have. Type 43 on everything that needs to be type 43. It's got the right size power wire going to it. I even took the time to hand tie everything. This adds hours to the process to hand tie things like this. I had a guy on Facebook the other day refer to this as lace tape. I mean, when I go to buy my wire tie, this is cloth wire ties. It's all this cloth string. This is a zip tie free environment, except for the ferrites that hold, that act as blockers on the fans. I just sat back and relaxed. I mean, this has got Reaper Customs power supply mounts. He's making these in-house. These are 3D printed power supply mounts. You know, he says one's enough. I like to double up, you know, because shit happens in shipping, right? I mean, I spent, honestly, just playing around, putting the switches together. I spent like, because I'm not in a hurry for anything, I spent like an hour and a half on this. Making sure that, like, if you look down through the lid, you'll see that all the wires have the same slack and the bend radius to it, and I just didn't get in a hurry. And I love building like this. I don't understand why people, like this situation here, this amplifier here. I understand the gentleman wants this amp. I got it. And nothing against him. He didn't conduct himself in a negative way in any way. I'm just saying that, let's say this for an example. If you order an amplifier and then you take it upon yourself, knowing what situation you're getting into, like with me, this is not my primary reason for existing. This is secondary to everything else I do, right? My primary job is repair and the management of that, okay? I build these, I took, what, 5 orders last year, all year. If you start harassing your builder and be like, well, did you get it in the mail today? Are you shipping my amplifier this week or next? I feel like I've waited long enough. What's the deal with it? You're not going to get high quality work. 9 times out of 10, I'm not saying me, and I'm not saying this is indicative of how I conduct myself. I'm saying that most shops, what they're going to do is just slam something together and be like, here you go away, leave me alone. I don't let that kind of thing affect me. I just kind of worry about me. And it, you know, I sat here and putted on this for a couple days, and I just needed a break. There's been a lot of shit going on that you guys don't even have any clue about that's gone on over here in just the last 3 months alone. See, full phenolic on the backer here. This comes all the way out to the edge of the vent, and then the phenolic goes straight through, so it's got direct air blow through. So no matter what we do here on the cabinet, it blows through, has to go through the heatsink to leave the amplifier. It just doesn't kind of flow out with the path of least resistance, right? I don't know, I just enjoy when I go to build something brand new, I don't want to be in a hurry. I don't want the phone to ring a lot. I don't want somebody to be mean or sending me negative condescending texts or me. Don't. Here's your money back, go away. You know, in certain situations, that's, I don't know. I just need a break. And I sat out here the last couple days quietly and just kind of built this. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad this is done. And we got nothing more to even be worried about. This thing's ready to go. The only thing I'm waiting on is the fan guard grills. I took them out earlier today. They probably should be dry by now. I should be able to go slap those on the case. Lid's all done. This amp's done, right? It's just done. We're just here to show it off. Say, hey, woohoo, pay attention. Look at me. I got a CB antenna, woo-woo, you know. The customer states, I love those videos, by the way. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to YouTube, type in customer states and go watch those videos. Amazing. Customer requested that it have an on-off switch, it have an operate standby switch, and then have a sideband delay, okay? I got with him about 2 weeks ago and asked him a specific question. Did he want a variable? The answer to that was yes. I don't like putting these in the amp because it is the weakest link in the chain. This little resistor, variable resistor, voltage divider. I mean, the best thing you could ever do is leave this all the way open and use your radio to run your dead key up and down, right? Let's leave this off for a minute and let's show everybody drive and pass through and all that kind of stuff. So we'll take our 5-watt element and we're going to put it in the forward position. So just so we all know, this is a 1,000 watt slug and peak, 1,000 in average, 5 watt slug and reverse, back from the bird, 10,000 watt, a dummy load. The slugs never change. It's always the same all the time. 24/7, 365. We're going to dead key 1 watt. So 5 watt slug going forward, 1 watt. Hello, 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 hello. Let's go over here and let me show you peak power. So this is what we're going to put in it for drive. Hello, wow, 25, 26 watts. That's all we need. It's all this box needs. See this right here on the front? 30 watts PEP max drive. The power supplies inside the amplifier are set at 15 volts. I think they're 15.1 is what I set them at. Under full load. This is on a 110 volt outlet. I got it plugged into a 30 amp outlet underneath the workbench to minimize voltage sag. You don't have to do that on your end. It's fused at 15 amps back here, and with it plugged in, because I care, you know, you take the time to do these kind of things. This is our fuse connection. If you notice, everything's got epoxy-based heat shrink on it. So you can brush against this. All the power wires are inside of plugs. It's all low voltage on the inside of this box. We do that for this thing called safety and reasons. I mean, how hard is it to put 2 pieces of heat shrink on a frickin' fuse holder? Apparently pretty hard, because I don't very, very rarely see anybody else do it. I mean, why would you want to keep the genie in the bottle? Yeah, I know it's inside of a cabinet, but come on. We all know each other. We know the CB mentality. Let's take the lid off. We're going to stick our dick beaters in here and we're going to touch stuff. It's what we do. Okay, so 1 watt going in. Let's go up here to our RCI 2950, because that's what we're using, is the bench 2950. As we all know, is turned down, way down, to where it won't do anything more than about 30 watts, period. This is a 5 watt slug that sits between the 2950 and the amplifier. Hello, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. That's our pass-through tune. So our 28 watts going through it, and we're seeing 0.2 of 1 watt worth of pass-through reflag. Woo woo woo. All right. So now let's switch the amp on. OPT. We'll flip it up. So with our 1 watt carrier going in, gets us about 90 watts worth of dead key. And we'll turn our variable down. Variable back up. Let me show you the input tune. One 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 one. Here's a variable all the way down, 1 1 1 1 1 1. There's a variable all the way at 1 1 1 1 1 1. Okay. I cannot stress this enough that this is a 1 driving 4. So that means we do not ever want to put our 100 watt radio ever into this amplifier. Ever. Never do we ever want to do that. But PBI, turn the dead key down. Yeah, but what about the peak power? Well, I turned my mic gain down. No, that's not how that works, dude. Some people. Okay, so 1 watt dead key going in. 90 watts worth of carrier going out. At a 1 1. So we're on the stop pig. At a about on the stop pig. So we'll go up to 2x. Now, as I have demonstrated, talked about, pointed out, and shown in almost every single one of my YouTube videos ever, we're going to go to 2x on the bird meter. You got the 40 and the 60, and in the middle is that big hash mark. That's 1,000 watts. The 60, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 2,000 watts. So when the needle goes all the way to the right in the 2x scale, it's 2,000 watts. We're not going to go that far. Doing about 11, almost 1,200 watts. And that's with 28 watts of drive. 28 peak watts of drive and about 4 watts average, RMS, bird, whatever you want to call it. A 480 watts average, which is perfect. That is what we've all known to come to learn and love. Touch ourselves quietly in the dark, telling each other, oh, I'm the man. I'm the man. 400 watts average is about what you're going to get out of this, about 100 watts per transistor. Depending on how you have it set up, you can get a little tiny bit more, maybe 125, without oversaturating everything. The 2879Cs, if you're really lucky, you get about 100 and maybe 30, 140, maybe average. It's not worth it. They're flaky, and there's 15 different versions of the C. Okay, so let's zoom in here a little bit so you can see the relay moving. See the relay moving? So I hit the button. Instant, right? Sideband delay. A little bit of delay. That's all we need. So now we're going to go to sideband mode. slide back up here. Let's take a look at our watt hell meters. Let's make sure I got my power up because this radio changes the sideband level when it's on. Okay, ready? Hello, audio. Let's turn our sideband delay on. Hello, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Makes about 850 on sideband. Which is not bad. Exactly what it should do, right? Exactly what it should do. 1 2, hello, come in, hello, hello, CQ, CQDX. Okay. It's good. It's a good. Sideband, up, off. So, to bring this project all the way to completion, and I can finally go, ugh, and call the guy and say, hey man, why don't you give me a little bit in shipping, and let's get you your box sent out to you that you patiently waited. You patiently waited, by the way. That whole diatribe that I just went through about how not to treat your amp builder kind of thing has nothing to do with this situation. I'm just saying overall. I feel like there's a lot of people out there bitching about shit right now, and it's just kind of slightly annoying to me, and I decided to talk about it. That's all. I want to do a YouTube video called, Are You a Mud Duck? I really do. And I would like you guys to give me your opinion down in the comment section below. And it would be situations like this. If you're out talking on your radio, this is going to be me talking about what makes a mud duck a duck, right? I know guys that have got a 2-pill, and they're a boss. And it has nothing to do with who they key on or how they key on it. It's how they carry themselves and how they conduct themselves is what makes you a boss. Legit. Run around telling everybody you're the man, being loud, hooping and hollering and carrying on and woohoo, pay attention to me. That does not make you the man. That does not make you the boss. It's all about how you conduct yourself that makes you a boss. So let me give you an example of what a duck maneuver would be. I want to make this video, but I know I probably never will because it's too controversial. But if you guys insist enough, I might do it. I might do it. So I really expect the comment section to just blow up on this video. I really do. So let me give you an example. Just imagine me standing there on camera going, okay, gentlemen, let's not be a duck. If you are out talking on your radio and you're shooting skip and they're calling your name and you're feeling like you're the man, and all of a sudden the guy that lives down the street from you who has spent way more money, put in way more time, has got way more invested, and has built his station bigger than yours. He keys down and starts talking skip. Doesn't even acknowledge you're there and just goes and talks skip. And keys on you. And then you pick up your phone and start calling and texting and harassing and giving him a hard time. You're a duck. You are. Especially if you're bitching about it on channel 6. That's not how this works on channel 6. It might work in the amateur bands like that, but not on channel 6. This doesn't. If you call somebody up and you get keyed on and the only words that come out of your mouth are anything other than good job, or, well, you know, hey, good job, I heard you out there today. You politely wait till they're done shooting skip, and then you start giving them shit. And then you can talk a little bit of shit to them. But calling them up and whining, man, I was out there talking, why'd you key on me? I don't understand. I got a pair of 800s, and you're over there running a pair of 15,000s. I don't understand why you key on me. Why are you being mean to me? It's not fair. It's not fair. You're a duck. Quit being a bitch. The great legend of Prime Minister said it best in a song one time. Stop crying. Start buying. No excuses on the bowl, right? You would be amazed how often I listen to people explain to me why the guy down the street who has spent way more money, has got a way bigger station, way bigger antenna, way more invested, and is keying on him, and how that guy is a dick because he's keying on the other dude. I'm like, wait a minute, we're talking channel 6, right? Yeah. I usually mumble it to myself underneath my breath. I'm talking, man, you're the duck. Not him. Not the guy down the street. You're the duck. Right? You crying and bitching like that, it takes you immediately out of, you know, the boss category and puts you in the duck category. Just saying. I'd love to do a video. I think it'd be very funny, the satire, the situations that I hear, some of the stuff I hear. I just shake my head and I go, I don't act like that. I've never acted like that. I don't understand why people act like that. I just shake my head and go, oh, all right. I don't know. I think it'd be funny. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Okay. Let's go get the lid put together. I want to get the lid on this thing. It's beautiful. It's pretty. It's shiny. It's got every little good little bit in it. It's all hand tied. It's just what it is. Let's get the lid finished. Let's wrap this up. No excuses. No excuses on the bowl. If your beam is a ground plane. Oh, shoot. Here. I got to be all flashy. Let's turn on the peak kit and put it on 1X. If your beam is a ground plane, don't complain. No excuses. No excuses on the bowl. 111111. I put the fans on this side of the cabinet for a reason. It has nothing to do with making it so people can look inside and see everything. It's just a side bonus. Well, the reason I like to use this, the Reaper Timber Custom Offset HP power supply mounts is because it puts a lot of space in between the power supplies that are in the unit. I have made the observational note, like many of you guys have, and like many of my friends down here on Patreon, by the way, have also figured out. And by the way, thanks to them for letting us have the opportunity to watch any content on YouTube that doesn't have 15 flipping commercials in it. Thank you guys. The gentlemen that sign up and come join Patreon and help support this YouTube channel are the reasons that you guys are getting to enjoy this content here without any ads. I want to say thank you. The biggest shout to my Patreon supporters here at patreon.com. And it's the other reason that you don't have to listen to, oh, this video is sponsored by Grounded, or this video is sponsored by War Tanks or whatever. None of that shit. It's all because of these guys right here. So if you like what you're watching, come join us. Okay. I like to space the power supplies out. I've made the observation that when you stack the power supplies right on top of each other and you don't provide a space in between each one of the supplies, that the outside edge of the supply is mostly the heat sink for the supply. In this particular application, because of one guy, he's my friend, his name's Brian, I rebuilt an amplifier for him and I put two of them together in a little amplifier like this, and he would talk for 15 or 20 minutes and there wasn't enough airflow because I put one fan over here and another one over here and I was blowing air down on the amplifier components and it was going out through the heatsink, and there's very little airflow that was going across the top of the switchers or even by the switchers. The switchers would go into super crackhead mode. The little fans that are on the back of the power supplies, they would switch and whoop and spin up into high RPM ranges that made, you know, cats and dogs have bleeding ears 3 miles from his house. So I thought for this one, for this customer, I would go ahead and I'd just put the fans blowing directly down on the switchers. And I'm, you know, trying to make a point that every single one of these I produce that goes out the door for a customer to use, I try to space them out. Every once in a while, like if you watched the power supply, that 2000 amp power supply I made, it was 2 power supplies and then a space, and then 2 power supplies and a space. And that's to give the cabinet a place to have air move around it, to help try and keep it cool. If you're out there building, this is something that you might want to think about adopting and putting into your own build style. It's just food for thought, right? Just putting it out there, sliding it on the table and walking away and saying, hey, it's just something to think about. So with moving the fans, switching the sides of the cabinet, putting all the fresh air going down across the power supplies and then it percolating through and coming out, the air that goes in has to come out through the heatsink. We're fine. If the parts on the top are getting so hot that something's getting damaged or parts are failing, that usually means that this exhaust port in the back is blocked, or you have this recessed in some kind of cabinet where the hot air is coming out or circulating through and going back through again, which is not what we want. We want to have cool, fresh air getting sucked in and the hot, excited, you know, heat transferred onto heat sink out the other side. We want that to go away. Not recirculating heat. So, gentlemen, on top of that, on the bottom of that, on the side of that 3910 is done. I say 3910 is 3,910th is done. It's off to its customer. Got some big projects coming up here pretty quick. I got a whole bunch of 16 pills that are going to come up probably the middle of this next month. Like 5 of them back to back. They've all got Toshibas in them, and they're built by everybody. I mean, I got a Fat Boy, I got a Danny 123, I got all kinds of stuff. I mean, all kinds of stuff. I think I even got a Hopper over there someplace. I got to go through, and they're all here for consignment for sale. And we need to get them gone down the road to new homes, not here. Got 2 32 pills coming up. One of them is for my friend that's over in Washington. He's starting to get a little antsy for it, and I think it's time. Just got a lot going on, trying to get there as quickly as I can and try and support all the other things I'm into. So we're coming. Projects are coming. New things are going to start rolling out of here. And on that note, I'm off to go do repairs for the rest of the day. So if you got a question, a comment, anything I can do to help you, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. Please try to do it during normal business hours, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. If you call on the weekends, I'm not going to return your call. Probably not going to answer. Just is what it is. Trying to keep normal life, you know. So don't be that guy that shows up on Facebook and says, oh my God, I called him, he never returned my call. And then I show up and go, yeah, but did you call on Saturday or Sunday? Yeah, okay. Well, try calling again. That might be why. Just don't be that dude. Thanks, Penta. Thank you, XS. Thank you, Siglet. Thank you, MechMan. Thank you, Bird. Thank you, Coaxial Dynamics. And honestly, thanks to every single one of you. Oh, look who it is. It's one of my students giving me a call. I'll see you, gentlemen. Click, click.